Okay, we are back with the system in a higher input voltage mode. I got the power output much higher. We have a scope on the system. We are so fast and so abrupt I can't even read a frequency. 3 ferrite rods. And the way we know magnetism isn't forming in the circuit is my voltage detector that detects AC, as you see. It's working fine. I put it right on my power strip down here. That charges my tools and powers my appliances. Just worked on that. If I put it here, it won't beep at all because we're not producing magnetism in the circuit. We're switching so fast that magnetism is not forming in the circuit. We are in the pure Tesla longitudinal dielectric mode. The system is literally transducing power out of the environment by acting as a energy pump. So I got the power output much higher. I could keep scaling this indefinitely, in theory, as long as I maintain the integrity of my abrupt switching through my diacs. The system is highly nonlinear. It runs off of a voltage potential only to activate itself, and it truly consumes no current. The addition of that little capacitor got our output brighter. So, it's very powerful now on its output. I'm almost in the risk of blowing that LED, so I'm showing you there's no magnetism in the circuit at all. This voltage wand will not beep at all from the circuit while it's running. We are switching so fast through our avalanche components that magnetism does not have time to form in the circuit, and we don't even see a waveform on the oscilloscope. It looks like a bunch of little straight lines, which is what the wavefront looks like. It's an impulse current. It is the Tesla impulse mode that you were never taught about. A longitudinal dielectric mode. Research Eric Dollard, he does a lot of work regarding these systems. Good look at the LED. And again, I'll take my voltage wand, show you the system is producing no magnetism. It is a non-electromagnetic system. There is no electromagnetism in this system. If I take the same voltage wand, go near my AC power line, it'll beep. So there's no doubt about the functionality or integrity of the wand tester. We come back up to my device, which is a pure Tesla coil. It's a mini magnifying Tesla transmitter, shrunk down 416 times. Read the description, get our free book on our YouTube page. The system is literally capable of conjuring energy. It basically acts as an etheric transducer as per Eric Dollard's theories. It's voltage driven only. The pulse that feeds the system is so rapid and so abrupt, magnetism cannot form in the circuit. And in theory, if you get this tuned up just enough, the meter that reads input current might even go negative in theory. But I haven't seen that effect occur yet. I added a ceramic parallel capacitor bank to the positive input, but it's connected at the bottom of one of the coils. And it's also connected to the diac end on the negative input. And the system is nearly wanting to self-activate. So for example, when I disconnect the power here off the battery, look at this. It wants to nearly stay activated. I'm going to show that all in one frame. And that's a little ceramic capacitor. It shouldn't have the ability to do that. So, we're at a point where the system is so close to self-activation after you start it. And the only thing slowing us down is just the transistor, in theory. So if we could get something even better that's more sensitive and efficient, we'd even be in more business. I gotta find where I connected it, where it was at the right spot. So, if I connect it at the wrong spot on the power rail, our switching becomes oversaturated and will consume power, as you see on the meter. So now we're running on the incorrect mode. Our switching is not abrupt enough. We're consuming current. If I connect it at the right spot where our switching isn't oversaturated, we're back consuming no current, and our light is very bright. Here's how it looks when I disconnect this capacitor bank here. I want to make sure we all see this in frame. so it gets much dimmer. And that capacitor bank in parallel really helps right here. So, again, this is a fully non-electromagnetic system. This system is running off of a voltage potential only to trigger an avalanche DB3 diac, and it triggers so violently, so abruptly, magnetism cannot form in the circuit, creating loss. This system has zero loss. We can gate in power with a voltage potential only. So, look up the theories of Eric Dollard, Nikola Tesla, Charles Steinmetz. This is all their work out there, and we're perfecting it with our private research AI. So, that's how it works. Pretty respectable output. We maintain the zero current consumption input state. The system is tuned with ferrite rods. If I remove them, we'll probably consume current, as you see. I will add the ferrite rods in again to tune our hysteresis. And we go back into the no current consumption state. So to sum it up, the system runs off a voltage potential only. That voltage potential triggers an avalanche event that is so abrupt, so fast, that magnetism does not have time to form in the circuit, creating loss. So this is a non-electromagnetic Tesla impulse system. It is longitudinal dielectric. You were never taught that in school. It is a true Tesla system. Basically, I think it's safe to say no one trusts institutions anymore. No one trusts the government, especially with what they did with COVID and shit. Basically, we were all lied to from day one. You can't trust anyone, one person. Can't trust government, can't trust academia, can't trust any of them. They've built a foundation on nothing but lies, and they're easily busted with Aether theory. So, this device is so simple you can explain it to a 10-year-old. Whoa, free energy is impossible. No, it isn't. It's easily possible. Build a system that is non-electromagnetic. It is so fast, magnetism does not form in the circuit. It's that simple. A 10-year-old can understand it. Did you have trouble understanding it? It is a non-electromagnetic system. That's simple. My meter's beeping on my AC line. I bring it here, and it won't beep. So long as I don't oversaturate my switching components, being my diacs, the meter will never beep. I'll show that exact effect again. I like to really show these effects to debunk all the people who tell me I'm wrong. This device is obviously working, so I can't be wrong, because this device is built upon the shoulders of giants, and we've been working on it for years. Once again, the device is fully non-electromagnetic in nature. It runs off a voltage potential only. It looks kind of goofy, the long battery stack. Takes a voltage potential only, fires it so abruptly, so violently through our DB3 diac switch. The pulse is so abrupt and so violent, magnetism does not have time to form in the circuit, creating loss. And if you tell any physicist that, they will immediately just lose their shit. But they're completely wrong. They were fed garbage in institutions. Most of college is a scam these days. Easy to say that. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that our world is getting worse and worse. Isn't it weird, despite the fact we're a so-called developed society, everything keeps getting worse and more expensive, As a society evolves, things should be getting abundantly cheaper and easier, but we see the opposite happening with the human race. Funny how that is, isn't it? So once again, if you stick to Aether theory, it's correct. It is the one truth. All of particle physics is dead wrong. Quantum, string theory, it's all garbage, all bullshit. No such thing as quantum or string theory. Read the masters, check out Tesla, Steinmetz, Eric Dollard, Oliver Heaviside. This work is built upon all of them. Continuation of their work and perfected with our private research AI. Again, I explained it dead simple, where a 10-year-old can understand it. Anyone ever tells you free energy is impossible, look at them and laugh and go, run outside during a lightning storm with a metal rod and tell me free energy doesn't exist. Or better yet, build a Tesla system. It is non-electromagnetic. The switching is so fast, magnetism does not have time to form in the circuit. So, I'm explaining it to you in a dead simple way. I don't know how much more simple it can get. We can keep scaling that output as high as we want. I think that's about everything I wanted to say. Just the fact that you can't trust one thing you hear from government, academia, institutions. They're all garbage. Absolute garbage. They only tell you half the story. So, the system is nearly self-activating now. It wants to run itself for a time upon disconnection, as you see. So I'm going to have to try and find a way to collect the more wireless power from it and make it truly self-activating. But nonetheless, this output is far, far in excess to our meager input. That is a voltage potential only. So, figured I'd get that out there. We have it on the scope. And the fact I have the scope connected should slightly detune the system and cause a current draw, but it's not. So, we can't even really detect the frequency. And something interesting with the system is when it's in this mode, we almost have no wireless power present. It's like all our power is only focused at the L3 bifilar coil that's running our LED. So we got the power output very high because geometry literally conjures energy. This is an open system. It is acting as an etheric transducer, or what Ken Wheeler called it was an etheric torsion portal. So, respectable power output, no current consumption whatsoever. Even if we're using current that the meter can't quite detect, our output is well in excess of any minute input we have. So, and it can get that thing to operate in true, absolute zero current consumption mode. The system is acting as a dielectric relaxation avalanche oscillator, driving a perfectly mini-magnifying Tesla transmitter system. It is ungrounded. It is self-referencing. It is grounding itself through its own internal capacitance between the three coils, between the L1 trigger coil, the L2 power coil, and the L3 coil. The L3 bifilar Litz coil is what conjures your energy to run your load. So, here it is. Dead simple. Don't have a lot of time. Gotta go somewhere soon, but I wanted to get that video out here. Can keep scaling the output up indefinitely. I will disconnect the system, give you a good look at it again. And like I said, it just wants to try and run itself upon disconnection. I'll show that effect again. Get that in good view. It really wants to run itself. You see that? It's so close. So, I'll fully disconnect the system again, show you everything. Our ferrite tuning rods, nickel zinc, very important. Most expensive thing in the system will be the nickel zinc tuning rods and the very expensive high-end SiC diodes. And I already ordered the 6th generation of these, which is even more efficient. Should get a 17% efficiency gain once I add those to the system. We might even see the meter read negative 0.01 instead of consuming current, which would be interesting. Good look at the little transmitter. Dead simple device, elegant, operates cold. Again, the secret to cold electricity, or also known as Tesla impulse energy, is your impulses are so rapid, magnetism does not have time to form in the system, creating loss or drag. So, good look at it. There's a copper C shield coated on the outside of the tube. I hope you can see it. This is on my posts section on YouTube, and it's also in my book. I coated the before I wrapped the coils, I coated the outside of the PVC in just copper foil, but I didn't fully enclose it. I left a little slit so it focuses the energy out like a laser. It's called the copper C core. Look at my YouTube posts section. That's where it shows it. Went to a 33 megaohm biasing resistor in parallel with the reverse bias Cree diode. That seems to have increased and stabilized the system's output while maintaining the zero current consumption input state, so long as we get our capacitor values correct. And it's virtually such a high resistor value, it's open circuit. Flyback diode here. The system is made to operate in pure avalanche mode, impulse mode. Stone cold, doesn't generate magnetism, therefore it stays stone cold. Don't need a heatsink on the transistor. Feel like we're finally paving the way forward with the system. I'll get this crap off my desk. I have people sometimes give me a hard time with this little test board, but I like to keep it here to keep the work area a little neat. It's nothing funny under the desk. Don't ever do any kind of fuckery on this channel. This is pure electrical research. Exactly how the system looks. I was thinking of building a generator unit where it sits on a wood board or a stack of wood boards with special metal plates connected to boost output further, but I'm not sure yet. I'll hook the system back up, back to our bifilar coil, and I haven't perfected the bifilar output yet to truly run what I want, but it's almost there. See if I can get this. I'm trying to do this all one-handed on camera. I'm taking it apart, showing you things, putting it back together, so people can't complain about anything. And something else too is you don't need a biasing resistor at all to get the thing to run. It just helps gate the pressure flow a little better. It gets the system to activate a little easier. So I'm going to hook this back up now in real time. I want to see what's going on. So I'm hooking this thing back up in real time. Get our input connected again. I believe we went here. Alright, so we're going to come off our battery now, the voltage only. Get ourselves going. Not quite high enough in voltage. Or are we? Yeah, no, we're not firing yet. Gotta go a little higher in voltage. There we go. As you see, we are hooked up. I want that in view. That way no one can complain about a damn thing. Okay, we're hooked up. Hooked up, and we are suboptimal. Consuming current. I don't want to consume current. I want to tune my system now. Consuming no current. And I know we can get it even brighter and better. How? The addition of this special capacitor bank now. You'll see exactly where I connect it. There we are, much brighter. Blindingly bright, while still in the no current consumption state. And I see now I have to change the voltage potential. We're slightly oversaturating our switch. I'll move it down a notch. And now we are truly consuming no current again. I moved down a little bit in voltage. We're not oversaturating our switch. Our output is much higher. And I'm doing all this one-handed and explaining everything to you. So again, in summary, it is a non-electromagnetic device. It acts as an etheric transducer to gate in environmental energy and give you or conjure you a power output at the L3 coil. It's Tesla impulse-driven dielectric longitudinal energy that Eric Dollard really is mastered working with as well. So Longitudinal dielectricity is what it's called. And the system runs cold because it's pulsing at such a high frequency. Magnetism does not have time to form in the circuit. So that explains it. It explains it so easy a 10-year-old can understand it. Nothing quantum going on, nothing with string theory going on. Dead simple, non-electromagnetic impulse currents. Dead simple. And if we perfect the system even further, the meter should actually read negative in theory. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe, join the Patreon, get our free book that's on our main YouTube page on archive.org, completely free book. So, and check our posts section on YouTube. Fully tells you how to build the device. Dead simple, easy. Build it as neat as you can. Use exactly the parts specified, or it won't work nearly as good. Took me almost a full year to realize the ST1309 transistor from New Work Electronics is one of the best that seems to work in this system. I'm sure there's another one that's even better, but I haven't discovered it yet. But thank you, everyone. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, join the Patreon. This is real electrical and energy research of dead sciences that have been dead for over a century now, because nothing is getting better in our modern world. The only thing we get is cheap, shitty electronic entertainment to distract us with, while our world keeps getting worse and more expensive around us. So, this is real electrical science. And do you really think any advanced species in this galaxy cruises around the universe in a giant fuel-filled pecker being a rocket? Or do you think they cruise around the universe using an advanced form of this technology that, it's energy synthesis technology. You can power a field propulsion craft with this stuff, in theory, if you perfect it. So, yeah, food for thought, and feel free to replicate it. Costs you about $200 to replicate. The ferrite rods and those special Cree diodes are the most expensive. This is what they look like. See if I can lock in on it. I'm going to try and zoom right in. Yeah, but I'm already going on to the 6th generation of these, so don't take that part number too serious, because I'm already going on to the 6th generation of it. So, the whole system will become 17% more efficient, in theory. So, yeah, that's that. I've showed everything I wanted to. It keeps improving, and thank you, everybody. There can be no doubt that it's breakthrough.